Hello. I just want to jump in here for a moment and say a sincere thank you for being a part of the Born to Win podcast community. At the time of this recording, we have reached over 13,000 downloads, and our team and I are truly grateful. Every single download represents an opportunity to reach someone who may be ready for change. My father, Bob Proctor, he spent 60 years helping people understand the potential within them and the personal agency they have to create a better life. I grew up immersed in that work. I was born just 2 months into his journey, and I like to say I was his experiment. He was reprogramming his own thinking, and at the same time, he was programming mine. So to continue this mission today is both a pleasure and an honor. Thank you for being here. I'm Brian Proctor, and each Monday I share a message to help you start your week with focus, clarity, and intention. Every episode is designed to remind you that success isn't something you chase, it's something you allow. You were born to win, and when you live in harmony with the laws of life, you begin to experience that truth in every area of your life. So take a deep breath, open your mind, and let's get started. Today we're going to talk about attraction, but not in the way you might expect. This isn't about wishful thinking. It's about understanding attraction through the law of vibration. You see, you are always attracting something into your life. The question is not whether you are attracting. The question is, what vibration are you living at? Because that vibration determines what you attract. In my book, My Father Knew the Secret, I wrote a chapter titled The Movie That Changed Everything. In it, I share how my father came to be a part of a film called The Secret. It truly changed everything for him, but there was something he felt strongly about. He believed the movie left out a critical piece of the puzzle. And that was this. The law of attraction is not a primary law. It is secondary to the law of vibration. This distinction matters. If you don't understand it, you might believe that all you need to do is wish for something and it will automatically appear. That simply isn't true. You have to do more than hope. You have to understand that how you show up in your life and in your world is the reason for what you are attracting. This is about energy. Energy is always flowing to and through you. In fact, the fundamental difference between you and a corpse is energy. When a person dies, energy stops flowing. As a living, breathing human being having experiences, you are constantly transforming the energy moving through you. What matters is what you do with that energy. That is what determines what you attract and the results you experience in life. And the way you transform that energy is through your thoughts, through your feelings, and through your actions. You cannot create or destroy energy, but you can influence the vibration at which you release it. When you do not understand this, you allow outside circumstances to run your life. Those circumstances then determine the vibration you operate from, and that vibration determines what you attract into your life. Do you see the cycle? Now, what I want you to understand is this. You can only manifest what you are vibrationally aligned with. A simple way to recognize the vibration you are sending out is to notice how you're feeling. Your feelings are your conscious awareness of the vibration you're currently in. When you're feeling anger, jealousy, shame, guilt, resentment, or frustration, you're operating at a lower vibration. And from that state, you cannot attract the good that you truly desire. Change does not happen by hoping. It happens when you actively do the work to shift your vibration. Now, what I'm talking about is choosing to live in a way that opens you to something bigger, a way of being that allows higher outcomes to meet you. Another way to understand this is through the law of cause and effect. This law tells us that every action or cause produces a corresponding result or effect. So it's important to see this clearly. Attraction is not the cause. Attraction is the effect. Most people misunderstand this. Because of that misunderstanding, they spend their lives trying to attract outcomes without ever addressing the cause behind them. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you are. You attract what you are in harmony with. And what you are in harmony with is determined by how you use your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions to transform the energy flowing through you. That, my friends, is the cause. If attraction worked through wanting and hoping alone, everyone would already have what they desire. Wanting without alignment only creates frustration, not desired results. Attraction is a response to the vibration you are offering to the world. It is life responding to the signal you consistently send, and that signal is your vibration. So let's go a bit deeper into the law of vibration. The law of vibration tells us that everything is in motion. Nothing rests. Nothing is static. Everything moves. Your body is moving. Your thoughts are moving. Your emotions are moving. Your habits are moving. Your words are moving, and each carries a frequency. You are not sometimes vibrating. You are always vibrating. The question is not if you are sending a signal. The question is, what signal are you sending most of the time? Your results are simply the echo of that signal. So why do people feel stuck even when they think they are doing the work? I hear people all the time saying they are visualizing, affirming, journaling, setting goals, and yet nothing seems to change. Why? It's because of what I talked about earlier. Vibration precedes results. You cannot hold a frequency of frustration and expect attraction to deliver peace. You cannot live in resentment and expect abundance, and you cannot stay in fear and expect expansion. Life is not judging you. It is responding to you. So let's talk about raising your vibration, getting on the frequency to attract good into your life. First, accept that this is an inside job. Your circumstances or your past does not set your vibration. It is something happening now, in the present. Your vibration, it's determined by your dominant thoughts, your emotional patterns, your habitual attitudes, your self-image, and how you show up day after day. Don't confuse vibration with mood. Mood changes quickly. Vibration is more stable. It is the emotional and mental baseline you return to when nothing special is happening. It is a consistent daily method of operation. This is why someone can have moments of motivation or inspiration, yet experience the same results year after year. They visited a higher frequency, but they didn't move in. An attraction does not respond to visits. It responds to residency. That's why habits, environment, and self-image matter so much. They stabilize your vibration over time. You don't change your life by having one great day. You change it by changing your baseline. Now I want to share with you something my father taught me. Emotion is the carrier wave of vibration. You don't impress ideas into the subconscious with words alone. You impress them with feeling. You can say the right thing 100 times, but if your emotional state contradicts it, your vibration will follow the emotion, not the words. This is why gratitude works and why resentment quickly sabotages people. Unresolved emotional patterns shape outcomes. It is worth examining the stories that you're telling yourself about yourself. If you carry a belief that you are unworthy, it doesn't matter how much you desire success, because that belief of unworthiness will subconsciously reject it. If you carry the emotional baggage of resentment but desire peace, you will stay tuned to conflict. The law of vibration does not negotiate or judge. It simply responds. This inner work requires honesty with yourself. It can be uncomfortable because you will have to hold a mirror up and be accountable if true transformation is what you're going after. And I'll be honest, this is where many people get exhausted. They are not ready or willing to look at themselves honestly. If you try to force results without addressing the cause, which is you will stay locked in a cycle of frustration. You're not here to micromanage the universe. Your responsibility is not how things happen. Your responsibility is how you are showing up while they unfold. My father's first mentor, Raymond Douglas Stanford, had a great saying that he liked to use. He said, "You are the only problem you will ever have, and baby, you are the only solution." So it is up to you to do the work to align internally. And when you do this, your life will reorganize. When you understand the law of vibration, you stop asking, "Why isn't it here yet?" And you start asking, "Am I still aligned with what I say I want?" That question alone can get you back on track. When you stay in harmony with what you want, it has no choice but to move towards you. So let's talk about practical and repeatable ways to raise your vibration. First, practice gratitude for all that already is and all that is on its way. Gratitude shifts your attention from lack to abundance. And this is important to understand. Gratitude is not just a nice idea. It is a recalibration. It changes your emotional tone. And when your emotional tone changes, your vibration changes. Practice consistently. Gratitude does more than make you feel better. It changes what you are available to receive. Next, expect good to happen. Living with an expectation of good is not wishful thinking. It's a calm, grounded confidence that something good is unfolding for you. This ties directly into your self-image because you cannot receive what you do not feel worthy of receiving. And here's a fun fact. The license plate on my father's car, it read, "Expect." That was not an accident. It was how he lived his life. Another powerful practice is bringing yourself into the present moment. Being present stabilizes your vibration by releasing fear about the future and resentment about the past. Look for opportunities to contribute and serve others. When you expand beyond yourself, your energy, it expands as well. And expansion always raises frequency. And finally, self-respect matters. How you speak to yourself and how you speak about yourself when talking to others set your baseline vibration. That inner dialogue is always working, whether you're aware of it or not. These practices, done consistently, they create lasting change. Now, let's be honest. None of us, not even Bob Proctor, stays in a high vibration all the time. That would violate the law of rhythm. But what we can do is recognize when we've dropped into a lower vibration by simply naming how we're feeling. From there, we open our toolbox and create a shift. For my father, that shift, it often came from playing a beautiful piece of music or picking up one of his small dogs. For me, it's getting outside, moving my body, or doing something physical. Even spending time in the hot tub, it helps me reset. The key is this: find what works for you. Build your own toolbox of simple, reliable ways to shift your state, and use it. Remember, energy is always flowing, and vibration is not passive. When you intentionally act in harmony with who you are becoming, your belief strengthens and aligns with that new image. And that alignment grows. You begin attracting the good that you desire into your life. It can feel like magic, but it really isn't magic. When you live in alignment with your higher self, you open a channel for opportunity. And that channel creates a sense of flow, and life begins to feel easier. That ease comes from harmony. Harmony with who you are truly becoming. Now, before we move into your exercise for this week, I want to emphasize a principle of learning that cannot be bypassed, and that is repetition. You do not raise your vibration with one great visualization session only to return to chronic worry. You raise it by consistently making small, daily choices that support the identity that you are becoming. Each day, pay attention to how you speak to yourself. Notice what you consume through television, social media, and entertainment. Be intentional about who you spend time with and what you are willing to tolerate. All of these choices are votes for what you will attract into your life, and over time, those votes add up. Attraction becomes much simpler when you stop trying to get life to respond to you and start focusing on how you are responding to life. So let's get into your Born to Win exercise for this week. Each morning this week, ask yourself, what vibration do I choose to live in today? Choose one word. It can be gratitude. It could be calm. It could be confidence. It could be focus. It could be appreciation. Find your word and return to that word throughout the day. When something pulls you off center, pause and ask, is this response raising or lowering my vibration? Then choose again. Don't berate yourself when you get off track. Just gently come back to the question and choose again. This is the repetition you need. That is conscious attraction. When you elevate your vibration, you don't chase what you want. It moves towards you naturally because like energy attracts like energy. That is the law. Well, thank you for joining me today on Born to Win. If this message resonated with you, please share it with someone who could use a reminder of their own inner greatness. It also helps me to reach more people if you rate and follow this podcast. You can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Brian Proctor Official. And remember, success isn't about luck or timing, it's about alignment. You were designed for success, built for expansion, and born to win. I'll see you next Monday. Until then, think big, trust yourself, and keep growing.